We continue to follow this developing news out of La Habra today. Two people found dead after an apparent murder-suicide inside a Korean barbecue restaurant.
And we just got some new information from the La Habra Police Department. The identities of the man and the woman that died have been released, and they've been identified as Jacqueline Medrano of Covina and Jonathan Wang of Long Beach. And according to police, they were in a previous romantic relationship.
Imagine this. You're enjoying a casual dinner at your favorite Korean BBQ spot, the sizzle of meat on the grill filling the air, laughter echoing around you. Then in an instant, chaos erupts. Gunshots ring out. Panic spreads like wildfire. A woman screams, tables overturn, and two lives end in a horrifying flash. This isn't a scene from a thriller movie. It's the real-life nightmare that unfolded on October 14th, 2025. At Gui Gui 9292 Korean BBQ in La Habra, California, a targeted murder-suicide that exposed the deadly grip of domestic violence. Welcome to Dark Crime Evidence, where we dive deep into the shadows of true crime. Today, we're uncovering the chilling details of the La Habra Korean BBQ shooting, how a restraining order failed to stop a killer, and the tragic story of Jacqueline Medrano and Jonathan Wang. Stick around. This case will leave you questioning how far obsession can go. Hit that like button if you're ready for the full breakdown, and subscribe for more unsolved mysteries and evidence spotlights. La Habra, a quiet suburb in Orange County, California, isn't the kind of place you associate with violent crime. Nestled about 30 miles southeast of Los Angeles, it's a community of around 60,000 people, families, shopping malls, and everyday life. But on that fateful Tuesday evening, October 14, 2025, the Palm Court Shopping Center on West Imperial Highway became ground zero for a tragedy that shocked the nation. Gui Gui 9292 Korean BBQ, located at 1240 West Imperial Highway, is your typical all-you-can-eat spot. Smoky grills, savory marinades, and groups of friends or families gathered around tables. It's a place for celebration, not carnage. But around 6:43 p.m., as the dinner rush was in full swing, reports of gunfire flooded the La Habra Police Department's lines. Officers raced to the scene, arriving to find a horrific sight: two bodies inside the restaurant, surrounded by overturned chairs and stunned witnesses. The victims? 45-year-old Jacqueline Medrano from Covina, a vibrant woman enjoying what should have been a normal night out, and 35-year-old Jonathan Wang from Long Beach, the man police say pulled the trigger, first on her, then on himself. This wasn't random violence. It was a calculated, targeted attack, as described by investigators. But how did it get to this point? To understand, we need to rewind and explore the toxic relationship that led to this deadly climax. Let's start with Jacqueline Medrano. At 45, Jackie, as friends called her, was a resident of Covina, another Southern California suburb. From what we've gathered from public records and social media tributes, she was a hardworking woman, possibly in a service or administrative role, though details on her profession remain private out of respect for her family.
Honestly, we're super surprised. The shopping center is usually pretty quiet. There isn't much activity here in La Habra. We were honestly super shocked, yeah.
Described by those who knew her as kind-hearted and resilient, Jackie had a son and a brother she was fiercely protective of. She loved simple joys, family dinners, perhaps a night out at a local eatery like Gui Gui. But beneath that exterior, her life had been marred by turmoil in recent months. On the other side was Jonathan Wang, 35, from Long Beach. Wang worked as a security guard, a job that ironically required him to carry a firearm for protection. Public profiles paint him as an average guy, perhaps someone who blended into the crowd. But court documents reveal a darker side, a history of volatility, especially in relationships. Wang and Medrano had been romantically involved, but their bond was far from healthy. It was riddled with allegations of control, threats, and physical abuse. According to friends and family statements echoed in media reports, their relationship began like many others, full of promise, but cracks appeared early. Medrano later detailed in court filings how Wang's jealousy escalated into obsession. He reportedly monitored her movements, bombarded her with messages, and even threatened her loved ones. This wasn't just emotional manipulation, it turned physical. In one chilling incident, Wang allegedly punched Medrano in the mouth, causing a laceration that required medical attention. That punch wasn't isolated. It was part of a pattern that led to his arrest. Now let's dive into the domestic violence history that foreshadowed this tragedy. On July 15, 2025, Long Beach police responded to a domestic violence call at Wang's home on Marker Street in North Long Beach. Officers arrived to find Medrano injured from the alleged assault. Wang was arrested on the spot for domestic battery, booked into Long Beach jail, and charged. His bail was set at $50,000, a sum Medrano herself reportedly covered to get him out. Why? We can only speculate. Fear, lingering affection, or hope for change. But this act of mercy would prove fateful. The case was pending in Long Beach court, with Wang's next pretrial conference scheduled for November, just weeks after the shooting. His last court appearance was on October 7, 2025, a mere 7 days before the murder-suicide. Prosecutors noted Wang's non-compliance and escalating behavior. Yet he walked free, armed with resentment. Desperate for protection, Medrano took legal action. On September 16, 2025, the Los Angeles County Superior Court issued a criminal protective order against Wang. This wasn't a casual document. It explicitly prohibited him from contacting Medrano in any way. No calls, texts, emails, or in-person encounters. It also barred him from owning, purchasing, or possessing any firearms, a critical clause given his job as a security guard, where he admitted to keeping a gun at home. The order extended to Medrano's family. Wang had to stay away from her son and brother, whom he had allegedly threatened. In her request for the temporary restraining order, Medrano detailed the abuse. "He punched me in the mouth, causing a laceration. He threatens me and my family constantly." She expressed fear for her life, writing that Wang's obsession made her feel trapped. The court granted the order, recognizing the imminent danger. But here's the heartbreaking reality. Restraining orders are often just pieces of paper. They rely on the abuser's compliance, and in Wang's case, that compliance was non-existent. Despite the active order, he violated it repeatedly, though exact details of those violations aren't public. The pattern suggests he couldn't let go.
Again, are they afraid of that person? Are they trying to avoid that person? Are they, sometimes the person who takes all the blame isn't necessarily the person who's doing the harm. So
domestic violence experts point out that the period after a breakup or order issuance is the most dangerous. Statistics from the National Domestic Violence Hotline show that 75% of domestic violence homicides occur when the victim tries to leave. Medrano's story fits this grim pattern perfectly. This case highlights systemic failures. How did Wang obtain a gun despite the prohibition? As a security guard, he might have had access through work loopholes, but the order should have revoked that. Questions linger about background checks and enforcement. Medrano's bravery in seeking help is commendable, but the system let her down. Fast forward to October 14. Medrano was at Gui Gui Korean BBQ, likely dining with friends or alone. Details on companions are withheld for privacy. The restaurant was buzzing, families grilling bulgogi, couples sharing banchan. Around 6:43 p.m., Wang entered, armed and determined. Witnesses described him as calm at first, scanning the room until he spotted Medrano. What happened next was pandemonium. Wang approached her table, pulled out a handgun, and fired multiple shots at close range. Medrano collapsed, fatally wounded. Screams filled the air as patrons ducked under tables, some fleeing out the doors. One witness, quoted in local reports, said, "It was like time stopped. We heard pops, then everyone running. No one else was hit, but the trauma was collective." Wang then turned the gun on himself, inflicting a self-inflicted wound that killed him instantly. Paramedics from the Los Angeles County Fire Department arrived minutes later, but both were pronounced dead at the scene. Blood stained the floors, bullet casings scattered like grim confetti. Police secured the area quickly, treating it as an active shooter scenario until confirming it was contained. Surveillance footage from the shopping mall and restaurant likely captured the horror. Though not released publicly, it forms key evidence. Cell phone videos from witnesses may exist, but authorities urge respect for the victims. The preliminary investigation confirmed Wang shot Medrano before dying by suicide. No manifesto, no note, just a final act of control. The aftermath was swift. The restaurant closed indefinitely, a somber reminder in the mall. Medrano's family issued a statement through media, grieving their loss and calling for justice in domestic violence cases. Wang's motives? Obsession, rejection, untreated mental health issues. Speculation abounds, but evidence points to a vengeful ex unable to accept the end. On Dark Crime Evidence, we always spotlight the proof. Here's the key evidence. 1. Court documents. The September 16th protective order is damning. Proof of prior threats and abuse. Medrano's affidavits detail punches, threats, and harassment. 2. Arrest records. July 15th. DV arrest, including police reports of Medrano's injuries. Bail paid by victim, a red flag for coercion. 3. Witness testimonies. Multiple diners saw Wang target Medrano specifically. No altercation beforehand, just execution-style shooting. 4. Ballistics and autopsy. Gun matched to Wang, likely his work weapon, illegally possessed. Autopsies confirm cause of death. Gunshot wounds for both. 5. Digital trail. Phone records may show Wang tracking Medrano, violating the order pre-shooting. This evidence paints a clear picture. Premeditated murder driven by domestic rage. But why no intervention? Wang's court date was looming. Did he snap under pressure? Similar cases like the 2023 Ajike Owen shooting show how gun access in DV situations turns deadly. Experts argue for red flag laws to seize weapons faster. Societally, this underscores the epidemic of intimate partner violence. In 2025 alone, California reported over 150,000 DV calls. Medrano's story is a call to action. If you're in danger, reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-799-7233. The La Habra murder-suicide is a stark reminder that love can turn lethal when mixed with control. Jacqueline Medrano deserves safety. Jonathan Wang's actions stole that forever. As the investigation continues, contact Detective N. Pineda at 5623-834353 with tips. We honor the victims by learning from this. Thanks for watching Dark Crime Evidence. If this story gripped you, smash that like button, subscribe for weekly true crime deep dives, and turn on notifications. Share your theories below. Was this preventable? Drop a comment and check out our playlist on domestic violence cases. Stay safe out there. Evil hides in plain sight. Until next time.